Welcome to the safety interaction topic. In this topic, we'll provide guidance on performing safety interactions and detail the Arnold safety interaction process. A safety interaction is a review of a task through observation of the task being performed, discussion with the worker or the team of workers regarding hazards associated with that task, reinforcement of safe behaviours, and correction of unsafe acts. The safety interaction is a structured process to assist leaders demonstrate safety leadership. It is very important that the interaction is conducted with an open mind, with a safety focus, and with an authentic approach. Don't try to be someone else. Whilst the process is structured, you need to be yourself. It will take many interactions for you to feel 100% comfortable and confident. It's not a perfect science. The most important aspect of the interaction is getting out there and doing it and improve over time with self-awareness. The safety interaction process is an anonymous process with the only person identified being the person performing the interaction. This is to encourage employee involvement and provide assurance that their name won't be put up in red lights. The effectiveness of interactions is limited by the way we perform them. A negative approach will result in negative outcomes. Be sure to get in the right mindset prior to performing an interaction. Use a positive approach and you'll be surprised how effective a safety interaction can be in driving positive, safe behaviours. The safety interaction process is for the benefit of the whole organisation with the aim of preventing injuries, reinforcing safe behaviours and work practices, testing the understanding of safe work practices, motivating co-workers to work safely and drive home the message. At Arnold's, we do it safe or not at all. Identify and correct unsafe situations and raise the overall safety awareness within the organisation. A safety interaction is not a disciplinary process. It is a communication process. It's an education process. It's a safety leadership process. It is not a big stick safety process. The aim is to embrace a positive attitude towards working safely and educating employees on the way we do things at Arnold's. Stepping through the process, we first identify the need for an interaction. Step 2, we prepare the interaction. Step 3, we observe a task. Step 4, we discuss the observation with the co-worker. Step 5, we record the interaction in Action HRM, which we'll go through in detail later. Step 6, generally, a safety interaction process is not an action generating process. It's more of a communication process. But if there are actions that you can't have closed out quickly and require you to follow them up, record a hazard report in Action HRM and ensure it's closed out. For example, you may have identified a SWIMS that needs updating, or a ladder may be overdue for inspection, or some test equipment may be out of calibration. Step 7, once the interaction data is captured in Action HRM, the workflow will forward on to myself, the HSEQ lead. As long as the interaction is fully populated, it will be approved and for entry into the register. Step 8, the HSEQ administrator will populate the interaction register, which will track who performed the interaction and the safe and unsafe acts. This will provide trendable data, which will be reported monthly through to the senior management and also to all the leaders who participate in the safety interaction process. Step 9, safety management. The senior management, will review the trends on a monthly basis, which will drive initiatives for training, system development, and awareness campaigns. So preparing for a safety interaction, we need to consider here, have there been any recent incidents or hazards on site? Is there a new work area? Are there workers performing high-risk work? Are there new employees in the area? And prior to doing the interaction, it's always good to familiarise yourself with the safety behavioural definitions that are in Section 6 on Procedure 95. These definitions are also within the data entry of the interaction, so you should never forget them anyway. That procedure is available on the IMS. It's also available in this training module, and it's also available in the workflow when you're performing the interaction. You don't always have to plan your interactions. An opportunity for an interaction may be identified when you're on a worksite. This may be a more natural approach for you by keeping it ad hoc. Try not to do a safety interaction on the same day and same time every week. Keep it as random as you can. Performing a safety interaction. So a safety interaction can be performed with one observer, or you can do it in pairs. By doing it in pairs, it allows for peer feedback. Also, after interaction, you can learn from each other as we practice the process. I wouldn't recommend doing it with any more than 2 people because it becomes a bit too intimidating for the co-workers. So once the task is identified, it's time to perform the task observation. Safely get the attention of the co-workers. Safely stop the work being undertaken. If you don't know the co-worker, obviously introduce yourself and your role. Ask the worker if they are willing and able to participate in the interaction. If they're not willing, ask the reason why. It may be a critical part in the work task, or they may have been observed within the last couple of hours already. So if that's the case, thank them, leave the work area, and provide feedback to the supervisor. Ask the individual what tasks that they're performing, and then what hazards are associated with the task and how they're currently controlled. If the co-worker is unfamiliar with the safety interaction process, you can step them through the process, inform them that the interaction is focused on reviewing the work practice, and feedback and discussion will occur after a short observation period. The observation should take no longer than 5 minutes. Mention that the process is based upon an open, no blame, no name philosophy. After introducing safety interaction, ensure you're in a position where you are free from risk to yourself and others. Observe the co-worker's work practice, identifying safe behaviours, work conditions as they may provide insight into the control measures, provide possible unsafe acts, and if immediate danger is noticed, stop the interaction and intervene as necessary. So once the task has been observed, then just provide some feedback to the co-worker. A key principle of an effective safety interaction is to provide a positive experience. So always start with positive feedback. Provide positive feedback for any safe behaviours that you've observed. Don't limit feedback to simply PPE. Each behaviour that you have noted as safe is an opportunity to provide positive feedback. An example is a worker using a drill. The handle is screwed in, one hand on the handle, one hand on the drill. Good body positioning whilst wearing the correct PPE. You may also notice, housekeeping is really good, all that sort of thing. If necessary, also discuss the identified unsafe work practices with the individual and possible consequences to themselves or others. Explain why you consider these acts to present a risk and determine whether the individual were aware of the risks. It is essential that this is a constructive two-way discussion. That is, interactions are not a tool to be used as a big stick or to intimidate when unsatisfactory behaviours are observed. Ask questions that promote a discussion which outlines safer ways of performing the work. Work with the individual to implement immediate corrective actions to reduce the risk to acceptable levels. Always obtain agreement to work safely using the new control measures. And always thank the co-worker for their participation. So the next video, you'll be able to see a safety interaction actually in process. This was performed by FMG.